Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Adventures in Knitting with Jen. My name is Jen and I am currently a teacher in a reserve in Northern Ontario, and this is my little visual diary podcast about knitting. I want to thank everybody who watched my first episode. I was completely blown away. I thought maybe just my family was going to watch it. So that was really neat. And whoever subscribed and liked and commented, thank you so much. I really appreciated it. I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do a little life, talk, whatever in the beginning, and then talk about my finished objects, my works in progress. And at the end of the podcast, I'll just stick in random pictures or little videos or whatever, just for interest, just for what the heck. And today I will have a little video of walking on an ice road, because the reserve where I work is only accessible by air or water during the summer, but we have an ice road in the winter, and that's kind of fun for some people down south to see. So part of, making this podcast and, recording yourself and watching yourself is a very odd experience. And it made me think of my dad a lot. I've been thinking about him a lot lately. For those of you who don't know, my dad passed away April 1st, 2020 from melanoma. And the anniversary, 2 years, is next week. So I have obviously been thinking about him a lot. He made a lot of videos. He was very good at editing, and I know that he would have totally loved this little adventure that I'm on, and he would have been giving me tips and tricks and watching my videos and giving me ideas on how to make it better. Definitely would have been something that we would have bonded over. So yeah, through this whole process, I've definitely been thinking about him a lot. Him and my mom were traveling children's pastors, and so we traveled all over Canada, down to the States, out east. We never made it out west though, but so public speaking was something that was very, big part of their childhood. So watching the videos back, and looking at them, you notice the little ticks and the little things that you do, or you say too much, or you smack my lips. I did that a lot. Little things like that. It just kind of made me think of my dad, because he was always trying to improve himself and trying to make sure that his message was getting across clear. And he would talk about how to, he would try and teach us how to be clear and to, be a little more relaxed when you're speaking and different things like that. So I've been thinking about him. Tried to fix some things. I've fixed the lighting a little better this time and played around with some editing, so hopefully that goes well. And just the more I do this, the more comfortable I'll be, and hopefully the better it'll get. So I just wanted to talk about my dad for a second, and just how much this whole process has made me think about him. I kind of feel closer to him in a way, because he did a lot of editing, like I said, and you'd see him over on his computer biting his lip. We'd always bite his lip. Focus, with his one. He couldn't type. He did one finger punch, and he did a really good job. He made music videos for my mom, and he would do funny little comedy videos for Facebook, which I'm sure some of you have seen. I know I've posted a few of them on my page in the past, and I just appreciate how much work that is now. Oh my goodness, there's so much. You don't understand how much work goes into something until you do it yourself, and just a whole new appreciation for everything that he did. So yes, next Friday I'm just going to take a chill day, and I'm going to bake some pumpkin pie, because every time I was home I would always make him a pumpkin pie. And we're going to have some Chinese food. Yes, we have a Chinese restaurant here. And then just watch a Western and remember my dad. So, part of talking about my dad, all this yarn that you see that I have, which is not even all of it. I mean, I have bins full at home in Winchester. Part of the reason I have so much yarn, honestly, is part of the grieving process, because a lot of it was bought in the last 2 years, and honestly, if I was sad, I bought yarn, you know, add to cart. But I haven't bought yarn. We've only bought 2 balls of yarn since January, so I think that's a good sign. Kind of reminds me of that analogy, you know, the one of the box, how grief is like a big ball in the box, and at first, every time the ball moves, it hits the side and it hurts, but over time the ball gets smaller and smaller, and it's still hurts every time it hits the side, but it doesn't hit as often. I agree with that analysis. It's a very good analogy. All right, so going into my finished objects, I have my love note. I am so excited with this sweater. This is my favorite sweater I've made so far, definitely. It's light and fluffy, so it's really soft. It's great for this like transition weather, and I did keep it the crop length. I wanted to use it as like a layering piece over dresses and other things, so I am hopefully going to have some pictures here of 2 different outfits. So I kind of had an idea of how to style this, and I have some more dresses at home that I can throw this over and it'll be really cute. I am definitely going to be wearing this a lot. Yeah, the pattern is by TinCanKnits. If you are a beginner knitter or you want to try some different things, I highly recommend their patterns. They are very well written. They often include tutorials and great patterns. They also have a free basics collection, which is how I started knitting sweaters too. I knit 2 of theirs. Yeah, so that's my love note. And you see over here my little guest, Greta. I call the head Greta. So this is another one of my finished objects. And this pattern is called the Fringe Knitter, and it's by Knacks and Knacks. And yes, it's strong and free, which is backwards for you guys. It's strong and free. And then there's some Canadian maple leaves on the back. The pattern has a lot of different sayings that you can write, but they're a little political. You can figure it out if you go look it up. So I stuck with strong and free. But yeah, there are lots of options she gives you, and it was just a fun pattern, and I'm really happy with it. The yarn is Rowan yarns, which is kind of like a higher end regular yarn, I guess. It's 100% wool, super wash, so you can wash it. This is actually the first time that I've ever done color work where I did words, so I was intimidated by that at first, but it turned out really good, and I think it's kind of clear what it says. So that is another finished object. I have another guest here. Like I said, I am a Star Wars fan, and this was a gift from a friend. So Boba Fett here is for my socks. These are my Boba Fett socks. The colorway was Bounty Hunter. That's fine. It was inspired by the Boba Fett, although he does have more green in him than red, but you can see it's definitely the same colors. So those are my Boba Fett socks, and I really like them. Okay, so I don't know about you, but were there any little things that you were kind of taught, not by my mom, because my mom loves red, and she would have dressed us in red every day if we let her, but these little things you learn from wherever you get them. But for that about style and what you're supposed to wear and what you're not supposed to wear, mine was always that you can't wear red because I'm a redhead. I don't know where I got that idea from, but I believed it for a long time. And but obviously I am breaking free from that. And I really like these. Yeah, I love them. They're really comfortable, and those are my socks. All right, so my works in progress. I am working on another pair of socks. I already have one half done. So yes, I have really small feet. These socks are DK weight, so it's a thicker yarn than my other ones. And this colorway is called Deck the Hall, so yes, it is Christmassy, but I really like it. They work up really fast, these socks, because it's thicker. Like, I forgot how quick they go, and they're so soft and cozy. They're great for in boots and different things like that. So I'm knitting them again on these little flexi needles, and I just wanted to say a little something about that. So you notice these are really small. Let me show you a comparison. So my Boba Fett socks, I knit on these, and then look at the difference here. So these are two different brands. This is called Addi Flexiflips, and these are Hiya Sharps. If you are interested in getting these kind of needles, I recommend you make sure you get the longer kind. Especially if you have, like for me, I suffer with carpal tunnel sometimes, or if you have arthritis or any issues, these are not comfortable to knit with. They're very short. This part is not long enough for me, I find. Like this part is considerably longer, the metal part. So yeah, my recommendation, if you're interested in trying these kind of needles, is to try the Addi and to make sure you get a longer metal point. I will be looking to replace these in the near future because, yeah, it's annoying. All right, my next project, which I had started last time, is taking a long time. And this is my Take Flight cowl. So I really like this. I love the colors. They're my colors. And the pattern is really easy and simple to memorize. However, it's fingering weight yarn. It's really fine yarn. It takes forever. Like, there's 200 stitches, and I feel like, yeah, it's a long time. So the pattern calls for 13 repeats of the pattern. I've only done 5, and it's already this, like, I don't think I'm doing 13. I think I might go until 8, do 3 more repeats and see, because yeah, it's already, I think I measured it yesterday, it was already 6 inches, so if I do another, it'll be 12 inches, and I think that will be plenty long enough for a cowl, you know, to bunch over and be warm. Yeah, I really like the pattern. I just probably would not knit it again in fingering weight yarn. It would be a lot easier with thicker yarn, which she does. The pattern is by the Knitting Expat, and the book that she wrote, it's all cowls, and you can knit them with any weight of yarn. She has it designed that way, which is really neat. All right, my last finished object, or not my finished object, my last work in progress is a neck sweater. So I only started it pretty, just the beginning. So this yarn is really fun. This is actually bought at Michael's, loops and thread, and it is actually made from recycled plastic, which I thought was really interesting, and so that's why I bought it, because I used to be a big zero waste fan and try to reduce my use of plastic and all those things. So yeah, the problem with this is it is striped yarn, And that was going to be a problem for knitting a big garment, because at the top you're doing the sleeves, and so it's a wider circumference, so your stripes will be tiny. But then when you split for sleeves, the body, the stripes will be thicker, and then when you do the sleeves, it's even smaller, so the stripes are thicker still. And that was just, I don't like that look. I have done a sweater like that before, and it just didn't look good in my mind. So to fix that, I am using 2 balls of yarn and alternating every 2 to 4 rows, depending, so that the stripes are more random and they're not in order of what they are in the pattern. And then it'll stay that way for the whole sweater. And you can see, yeah. So, yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's a very soft yarn and very stretchy. So this is only got 10% wool in it. Normally, I only knit with natural fibers, left over from my zero waste days. Things that can go back into the earth when I don't need them anymore. But this is polyester, obviously, and made from plastic. So, but the stretch is really fun and so soft. This would be a great yarn to make like children's sweaters with, because it could handle the wear and tear and grow a bit. So yeah, that is my little podcast for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Take care.